Let's do it.
Ravens, Browns. So the first thing we're gonna start off with, who are some of your favorite matchups in this Ravens Browns game?
There are a few matchups that I'm very interested to see. The first matchup is Lamar Jackson versus this Browns front seven. Last year, absolutely shredded the front seven for the Browns. But this year, the Browns added a couple pieces, have more athleticism at linebacker, and then more importantly, have more beef in the interior of that defensive line and on the edge with Olivier Vernon and Sheldon Richardson, who have proven to be able to stop the rushing attack of the LA Rams and not the Chargers, but the Jets, Le'Veon Bell. So I think that's going to be a very, very interesting matchup to see how Lamar Jackson's able to handle having a strong front seven in front of him, because he has looked good. I'm not trying to discount what he has done so far, but you also have to acknowledge the two games where he looked his best, Cardinals, Dolphins, especially the Dolphins. I can't name you a player that plays in the front seven of the Dolphins. So, it's going to be a big test for Lamar to see if this is going to be one of the top 15 defenses in the NFL, if he's able to do his thing there and bounce back from a little bit of an up and down game against Kansas City. Will you have any matchups you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to seeing if the Ravens and Lamar Jackson and those wide receivers can take advantage of a missing Denzel Ward, a missing Greedy. See if they can take advantage of that injured secondary of the Browns. Something else that I'm looking forward to is Marlon Humphrey versus whoever he's covering, because he has been excellent this year. He has been on point. But every other Ravens cornerback besides that, it ain't been so pretty. So I'm not really looking forward to that too much, but I'm looking forward to Marlon Humphrey. So next question. And this is a tough one, and it's very tricky because I've talked about it a lot. I know you've spoken about it a lot too, is about the and you just spoke about it too, the pass rush. Can the Ravens rush the passer? Right now, the Ravens and the Browns it's so weird, especially seeing my Ravens up there. Ravens and the Browns are ranked number 1 and 2 in the pass rush, and it's so weird.
Yeah,
because Ravens they are at the top of the league in QB hits, so they be hitting these QBs now. But for sacks, we can't say the same. So how do you feel about Ravens pass rush or their lack thereof?
It's an interesting matchup there too, because if there's any specific part of this Browns offense I think has failed them throughout the first 3 weeks, on top of Baker Mayfield not being as consistent as he should, it would be the tackles on this team. Greg Robinson and whoever they throw out at right tackle. Sometimes it's Chris Hubbard, but he's been injured. They've thrown out just dudes out there. So that has really been the issue for the Browns. And the interior of the offensive line is actually pretty solid. If you watch the game with Aaron Donald, he dominated more when he was pushed on the edge or when he would slide, and be against one of our weaker tackles. But the interior of the line, I'm not really worried about them. And with the Ravens, I think it's kind of a similar situation where you have your known quantities in the middle. Those are the guys they're going to be able to do their job. Ravens are still very good stopping the run because they're so strong up the middle. But, the question marks come in with the edge rushers like Matt Judon. He's still a question mark at this point. I think he's played well. I think he's played better than some people have anticipated, but he's still a question mark at this point. You mentioned in one of your videos how big of a disappointment Tim Williams has been for this team. And there's just a lack of depth there that makes you really miss Terrell Suggs. And it's going to be interesting to see with this Browns offensive line that has struggled to stop any pass rush, be able to do better when there's not as strong as a pass rush on the edge. And I think that's going to be critical to see who wins this game.
Yeah, because with Matt Judon, he is our best pass rusher. And Matt Judon, he's been good this year. He's been a lot better this year. But I'm still waiting for him to really turn that corner as a real pass rusher, as a not even just dominant, but just consistent. Because he'll have some plays in the game. I don't expect him to get to the quarterback every passing down or whatever. but still, just to create that havoc. But besides Matt Judon, I mean, we have Pernell McPhee, but with Pernell McPhee, he wasn't supposed to be a starter. He wasn't supposed to be out there nearly as much as he has been.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, yeah, we did mention about Tim Williams, and Tyus Bowser. While they haven't been, they haven't made their mark. They also haven't gotten the most opportunity in the world. So hopefully they can earn that. And because I mean, the more you're out there, the more you're in game, the more comfortable you're going to be in the game and whatnot. And I'm just hoping somebody can step up. And with Wink, the defensive coordinator, Don Martindale, he's been sending people. He's not afraid to send people. We found that out last year. As soon as he took over as being a defensive coordinator, he'll send people. He'll send a group of people. But the problem this year is that he's been sending multiple people from multiple positions, but they just haven't been finishing. They haven't been really getting there too much. So one thing that the Ravens are going to need to do big time in this game is get to Mr. Baker Mayfield. And hopefully in this game, because something that I noticed with him is that he can tend to hold on to the ball for a long time. And when he holds on to the ball for a while, that means our pass rush, they'll have more chances to get back to him because they'll have a longer amount of time to get back to him. So we'll see how that ends up.
Yeah, and that's a weird one with Baker too, holding on to the ball, because like last year he was one of the league leaders in just getting rid of the ball lightning quick. This year, I don't know if it's the new offense or what they're doing with Freddie Kitchens and Todd Monken. I think there's something going on there as far as the whole situation goes, to where he's just holding on to the ball. It's like one of those things. It's like, I don't know, if you know that player really well, you know that can't be something that's sustained for a while, because that's not part of his DNA as a player.
Yeah, that is something that I noticed last year. From as soon as he got in that Jets game, he got that ball out super quick. He made really fast decisions. He made really good decisions too. But yeah, this year it's just been a little bit different. So yeah, it could be attributed to the a new offense, or just a new scheme, or just I don't know. Maybe he just ain't catch that rhythm yet. Hopefully he don't catch that rhythm this Sunday.
Hey, speak for yourself.
So we're gonna see. But somebody whose rhythm it got a little knocked off last week. Kind of not way knocked off, but it got knocked off significantly. Was Lamar Jackson, and that is also the question that we have next, is the title of this video, which is are the Browns really Lamar Jackson's biggest tests yet? How would you answer that question?
I would say so far throughout the season, absolutely. First of all, one, just because it's a rivalry and it's a division game, there's going to be a different level of intensity on that game than there would be against a big game against the Chiefs in Arrowhead, even though Chiefs are a very good team. We know where their strengths are. And then also, this Browns team from top to bottom, even with the injured secondary last week, played very well. Not just like the pass rush was able to slow down what the Rams were going to be able to do. That wasn't really the case. I think it was the secondary just stepped up. Those people who came in played very well. And I think one of the key things for the Browns is that Demarius Randall is now back. He's officially back. He's going to play on Sunday.
Okay, he's good. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a huge factor for the Browns, because we all know Marquise Hollywood Brown, the other Hollywood in town. He can get over top of a lot of defenses. And I think with a backup free safety in there, he would have had a big day. But with Demarius Randall, he has great range. I feel a lot better about this secondary's ability to hold up. And we got to remember, Terrence Mitchell is a guy who doesn't get a lot of press and not a lot of people talk about. He's probably the second best corner on this team. I know everybody talks about Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams, but Terrence Mitchell has quietly been the second best corner on this team for about 2 years, because when we lost him last year, if you look at the stats the secondary was putting up, there was a significant drop when Terrence Mitchell was hurt. So I think him being out there is going to be huge because he's going to be able to be still on the Ravens' number one wide receiver, or still be able to stick with Hollywood Brown, which is going to mask some of the issues that are going to happen with the injuries in the secondary. So, yeah, I do think this is going to be one of Lamar's biggest tests. I don't think he's going to play a team. I don't think he's played a team that's going to be this athletic on the edges with their line, with their two ends. You know, Myles Garrett, we know how athletic Myles Garrett is. The man's a freak. And he has I think he's almost in double digits for TFLs, and he has 6 sacks already in the season. So he is on a great pace so far. Olivier Vernon has not been somebody who's put up a lot of stats, but still we know of his motor, and we know of his energy, his ability to stop the run and do things in that lane. And then Joe Schobert, Mac Wilson. Now that Christian Kirksey's hurt, Christian Kirksey wasn't the most athletic linebacker, more of a heady player. But Mac Wilson and Joe Schobert are the 2 more athletic linebackers who are going to be able to adjust more to what Lamar can bring to this game, when Lamar can stretch the game out with his legs horizontally and then with his arm vertically. So it's going to be a very, these 2 teams, they match up pretty well against each other. So I just think this is going to be a huge test for Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah, it really will. It really will. And somebody mentioned that and they made a really, really good point that even with Brown's, their injuries in the secondary, a lot of that can be masked by a good pass rush. Because if you have a good pass rush, which the Browns do, especially with Myles Garrett, man, I don't need to see 95 on 8 at all this week. So Ronnie Stanley, do your thing. But anyway, a good pass rush can mask a bad secondary. And if the pass rush is getting back there, which hopefully they won't be, but if a good pass rush is getting back there, then those corners won't have to cover for as long. And that would be disruptive to the deep ball. And you saw, you kind of got the Browns could have sort of used the formula that the Chiefs used in this past game. I mean, they were all up on Hollywood, and they, even though he did beat them quite a few times, but Lamar was overthrowing because Lamar he wasn't comfortable all game back there. And a lot of those passes end up sailing right past Hollywood. Hollywood would sail right past the cornerback, but then Lamar would sail the ball right past Hollywood. So we can't afford to do that. And being back at the crib should help. Game being in Baltimore, but at the same time, the game being in Baltimore may actually help the Browns too, because they seem to only want to win away games, and when they at their home, it's like
they've been disappointing
over, and they letting them cook the meals, they letting them prepare the food, and it's at their house, because Titans came through like they're from Cleveland. Yeah, and the Rams came through and they shut the door on the Browns too, trying to make a comeback, and it's like, man, but when they went to the Jets, they took care of business in New York. So
I think it's interesting too, because there's so much anticipation in this city for the Browns. And I think it's created kind of a toxic environment in the stadium. And I think it's a good thing for the Browns that they're going to be away for 2 weeks here, because they go on the road to Baltimore, and they also go on the road on Monday night against San Francisco.
You got another primetime game already?
Yeah, and if the Browns, the rumor is that the Browns win this game, that they're going to be flexed into the Sunday night against Seattle. It's too many primetime. Hey, as an NFL YouTuber, I think you understand this with me. When your team plays on Sunday night or Monday night, dude, I don't want that, because it's too late for me to be up making this reaction video.
For me, I'm always up anyway, so I'm good with it. But man,
I got to push this video out by 9. It's 6:30 in the morning. Y'all got to play at 1 sometime. I'm so happy this game is at 1. But anyways, the environment, people expected so much. I think people expected 20 years of losing to just change in an instant, and the Browns are going to go 12-4 or whatever, and just go 16-0 and just rip it off right from the start. But these things take time. And right now, when they play at home, they're not given that patience. The crowd is kind of anxious. There's this nervous energy in the stadium. I think if they could win this game or win the game on Monday night, both of them are good teams. I think you get some of that nervous energy to calm down just a little bit. and just be able to play loose. I think they're going to play a lot looser on the road right now. I think this is better for them, as crazy as it sounds, because M&T Bank Stadium is not a joke of a place to play on the road, because it's loud and it's crazy in there. I got to give y'all the flock its credit there, but yeah, I think it's a good thing that they're going to be on the road, honestly.
Yeah, you are right. It is loud, and it's gonna be it like at the Cardinals game, it was loud there, and it got like really loud toward the end.
Mm-hmm.
But that was Cardinals. Like that wasn't a division opponent. That wasn't even anybody in the AFC, man.
Yeah.
So with this being the Browns, a lot of people see. I've done seen so many. I'm so glad this game is now, because this will be, it won't even be the beginning to ending a lot of arguments, because I've seen it's been so much back and forth.
Oh man,
I've seen it on this channel, I've seen it on your channel, I've seen it all over. It's been so much back and forth. Twitter,
Facebook,
Facebook, man, ugly.